Welcome back to another deep dive. Today we are stripping away the polite veneer of the self-help aisle and getting a little bit gritty.
A little bit.
Okay, a lot gritty. We are looking at a book with a title that I definitely can't say in full without getting us flagged, so let's just call it Unfunk Yourself.
It certainly makes a statement sitting on the nightstand, doesn't it? It just screams, I am done with nonsense.
It really does, but once you get past the asterisk and, the shock value, the subtitle is What Hooked Me, Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life. And honestly, looking at our notes for today, that feels like the core mission here. We're trying to figure out why we spend so much time trapped in our own mental loops.
It's the human condition, really. The author, Gary John Bishop, he calls it the hamster wheel of life.
Yeah.
It's that sensation where you're sweating, you're sprinting, putting in all this effort, but when you stop to look around, you realize you haven't actually moved an inch.
I think everyone listening has felt that at some point. You feel like you're trying so hard, but nothing actually changes.
Right.
So who is this guy telling us how to get off the wheel? He doesn't sound like your typical, soft-spoken guru.
Not at all. Bishop is Scottish. He grew up in Glasgow, and he brings this very specific urban philosophy to the table. The sources call it tough love, but I think it's more like a splash of ice water to the face.
Okay, so less of a gentle nudge and more of a shove.
A definite shove. He's got the credentials. He's a senior program director for a major personal development organization, but his whole focus boils down to one thing.
Which is?
He doesn't care how you feel about your problems. He cares about what you're actually going to do about them.
Right. I gathered that from the reading. It's like he's saying we are addicted to the narrative of our struggles. We love the story of why we can't do things.
Exactly. I'm too tired. I'm not smart enough. It's too late. And so today, we're going to dismantle those stories using what Bishop calls assertions.
And these aren't just fluffy affirmations, though. I think that's a key distinction to make right up front.
Oh, for sure.
We're not talking about looking in the mirror and saying, I am a beautiful flower, while, feeling terrible inside.
No, thank goodness for that. Affirmations often just try to sugarcoat a negative belief. Assertions are different. They're meant to be statements of fact, designed to literally rewire your neural pathways.
Let's dig into that rewiring concept, because the research notes highlight a strong connection to neuroscience here. It's not just woo-woo magic.
Not at all. It's biology.
Yeah.
It all starts with self-talk.
Yep.
We all have this monologue running 24/7.
Right, the background noise.
Yeah, mostly subconscious. A running commentary on your worth, your ability, your safety. And Bishop points out that this language, it actually shapes our physical reality.
The notes mention neuroplasticity, the idea that if I'm constantly telling myself, I am lazy, my brain literally strengthens the connections that make that true.
Precisely. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brain loves efficiency. So if you tell it you're lazy, it goes, okay, got it, and it filters out any impulse to be active. And this is where he gets really specific about grammar, which I found fascinating. The difference between passive language and assertive language.
This stood out to me too. Passive is all about the future, right? I will be successful. I am going to lose weight.
Right. And what does I will imply?
It implies that I'm not doing it right now. The success is out there,
Yeah.
somewhere on the horizon.
It leaves room for excuses. I will, eventually. Assertive language claims a state of being in the present. I am.
I am. It feels immediate. It feels, a little risky even.
It forces you to inhabit that identity now. But, I do want to pump the brakes for just a second. We always try to apply a critical lens.
Of course.
Is it really just about what you say to yourself? I mean, you have psychologists like Martin Seligman who'd argue that learned helplessness comes from your environment, from trauma, not just bad grammar.
Right. You can't just mindset your way out of a systemic issue. If the economy crashes, saying I am wealthy isn't going to fill your bank account.
Exactly. You need to balance the two. But Bishop's approach is definitely on the extreme ownership end of the spectrum. So for this deep dive, we're focusing on the variables we can control.
Which is that internal dialogue. So, okay, let's get into the toolkit. The first assertion seems simple, but it's actually a bit of a trap. I am willing.
This is the antidote to the blame game. We love to blame everything. The economy, my boss, my parents. Bishop says you have to stop that.
Immediately.
So I am willing. But what's the nuance there? It's not just gritting your teeth and saying, I am willing to suffer.
No, it's about clarity. And the part that really clicked for me, and I think will for you listening, is the flip side. The power of saying, I am unwilling.
Wait, really? How does saying I am unwilling help me?
Think about it. Let's say you complain about not having six-pack abs constantly. You feel guilty every time you eat a slice of pizza. But are you actually willing to go to the gym 6 days a week and eat, like, boiled chicken and broccoli?
Honestly, no, I am not. I like pizza too much. Then you can say, I am unwilling to do what it takes to get six-pack abs. And suddenly, the guilt is gone. You aren't a victim. You made a choice.
That is actually incredibly freeing. It shifts you from a victim of circumstance to a person who made a decision. I choose this.
Exactly. You own the choice. And once you own it, you stop the internal nagging. You can just enjoy the pizza.
Yeah.
Or you realize you are willing and you get to work, but you're out of that gray zone.
It just clears the mental clutter. Willing or unwilling, yes or no. If yes, move. If no, stop complaining about it.
Blunt, but effective. And that clarity leads us right into the second assertion, which I think is maybe the most complex one in the whole book.
Okay.
I am wired to win.
This one. I had to read the notes twice on this. Because if I'm sitting on my couch, broke and unhappy, I definitely do not feel like I'm winning.
But Bishop argues that you are. You were always winning. You're just winning at fulfilling your subconscious beliefs.
Okay, you have to unpack this because that sounds like a paradox.
Just remember that our subconscious drives about 95% of our actions. It's the autopilot.
Right.
If you have a deep-seated belief, maybe from childhood, that says, I am not good enough, your brain is basically a heat-seeking missile designed to prove that right.
So if I get a bonus at work and I immediately blow it on something stupid and end up broke again.
You won. You successfully proved to yourself that you are bad with money. Your subconscious goes, see? Told you so. The world makes sense.
That is a terrifying thought. It means we're subconsciously sabotaging ourselves just to be right.
We would rather be right than be happy. We crave consistency. If your identity is the victim, you will subconsciously seek out situations where you can be victimized, just to keep your world stable.
So how do we use this? I mean, it seems like a pretty heavy diagnosis.
It's a diagnostic tool.
Yeah.
Bishop suggests you look at the areas of your life where you struggle the most, the places where you keep banging your head against the wall.
The repeated bad relationships, the stalled career.
Right. And you ask yourself this question, what am I winning at proving right here?
Oof. Am I winning at proving I don't deserve love, or am I winning at proving that everyone always leaves me?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But once you identify the game you're playing, you can stop playing it. You can say, I don't want to win this game anymore, but you can't change it until you see it.
That requires a level of honesty that is pretty brutal.
Oh, it's brutally uncomfortable, but that's the tough love part, right? You have to admit you're the architect of your own mess before you can clean it up.
Okay, so we've taken ownership with I am willing, and we've uncovered our hidden agendas with I am wired to win, but life is still hard. Bad stuff happens.
Of course.
Which brings us to assertion number 3. I got this.
This is all about perspective. Bishop references Socrates, who said that if we all put our troubles into a big pile and saw everyone else's, we'd probably just grab our own back and run.
We tend to think our problems are the worst, the most insurmountable.
We do. And Bishop uses this visualization of life as a continuous railroad track. Think about every terrible moment in your past, the heartbreaks, the failures, the embarrassments.
Yeah, I have a few of those, some real low points.
We all do. But the point is, the train kept moving. You passed through all of them to get here. Right now, you have survived 100% of your worst days.
So this isn't arrogance. It's just looking at your track record.
It's an acknowledgement of your resilience.
Yo.
It's not ignoring the problem. It's saying, I have handled things before, and I can handle this too.
But part of the panic comes from not knowing what's next. We're addicted to knowing the future. I mean, I check the weather app 5 times a day.
Which leads perfectly to the next assertion. I embrace the uncertainty.
This is a tough one for me. We love certainty. We want guarantees.
We do. We crave it because it feels safe. We want to know the 5-year plan. But Bishop, and really all of history, tells us that safety is an illusion. And more importantly, certainty leads to stagnation.
How so?
If you know exactly what's going to happen every day, you aren't growing. You're just repeating.
It's the paradox, isn't it? We want safety, but all the good stuff, success, love, excitement, all of that happens in the unpredictable zone.
Exactly. The source material talks about this addiction to certainty. We worry what people think or if we'll fail. But successful people don't have a crystal ball. They have the same fears.
They just move forward anyway.
They embrace the unknown. They realize that risk is the price of entry for a life well lived.
So instead of trying to control everything, the mantra is just I embrace the uncertainty. It sort of takes the pressure off.
It lets you be present. You stop living in some scary imagined future and you start dealing with the now.
Okay, so we're embracing the unknown. But I think a lot of people, myself included, get stuck waiting to feel ready. Like, I'll start that project when I feel motivated.
Or I'll go to that party when I feel confident.
Yeah, and that's the trap that the next assertion addresses. I am not my thoughts. I am what I do.
This sounds like a contradiction to the first point about self-talk, but it's really not, is it?
It's a crucial distinction. Self-talk shapes your reality, yes, but in the immediate moment. You cannot wait for your thoughts to align before you act.
We think we need to change our thinking to change our acting.
But he says it's the other way around.
Precisely. Action breeds confidence. If you sit around thinking about going to the gym, your brain will cook up 1,000 excuses. I'm tired, it's cold. But if you ignore that voice and just physically put your shoes on and go,
the thought changes after the fact. Afterward, you think, I'm glad I went.
You're defined by what you do, not the noise in your head. You can feel scared and still act brave. You can feel lazy and still work hard. The action is what counts. The thought is just weather.
The thought is just weather. I love that. It might be storming in my head, but I can still physically drive the car.
Exactly. And this emphasis on action leads us to the final and maybe the most intense assertion in the book.
I am relentless.
This is the engine that keeps everything else moving.
Now, when I hear relentless, I immediately think of someone who never sleeps, just grinds 24/7. Is that what he means? Because that sounds like burnout.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's not about running yourself into the ground. It's about forward momentum, regardless of obstacles. It's refusing to stop just because things got hard or because you hit a wall.
The sources bring up a great example here. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's a classic story, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
Here's a guy from a tiny town in Austria. He wants to be a bodybuilder, go to America, become a movie star.
And everyone told him it was impossible. His accent was too thick, his name was too long, his body was too weird for movies.
Exactly. Agents told him, maybe you can play a Nazi villain, but that's it. If he had listened to any of that, or his own doubts, he would have stayed in Austria.
But he was relentless. He just tuned it all out.
He broke the limits because he refused to accept that they were limits. And history is full of that. Things are always impossible until some relentless person comes along and just does them.
It brings it all full circle, doesn't it? You change the self-talk, you take the action, and then you just keep doing it relentlessly.
That's the formula.
So let's just recap the journey here. We started with getting off that hamster wheel.
We moved to taking ownership with I am willing, or maybe unwilling, then realizing we're always wired to win something.
We gained perspective with I got this. We decided to let go of control and embrace the uncertainty.
We learned that I am not my thoughts, I am what I do. So action comes first. And finally, we commit to being relentless.
It's a lot to take in, but the book is clear. This isn't just an academic theory, right? You can't just nod along.
No, the author is very clear. This is a personal experiment. You have to actually try these on. Say them, live them, see if they change things.
It's about consciously driving the bus instead of letting your subconscious steer you off a cliff.
That's it.
Now, as we wrap up, we always like to leave you with something to chew on, a little something to carry into your week.
We talked about being wired to win, and I want to go back to that because it's such a powerful tool.
Okay.
I want you, the listener, to think about the one area of your life where you are struggling the most right now. Maybe it's money, a relationship, your health.
The thing you complain about the most, the broken record in your life.
Exactly. Now, I want you to ask yourself a very uncomfortable question. If you were to admit that you are actually winning at that struggle, that you are succeeding at creating that exact situation, what hidden belief are you trying to prove right?
That's a heavy question. Are you proving you don't deserve success or proving the world is against you?
Find the belief you're winning at, and you find the key to unlocking the whole cage.
And on that note, we will let you get back to your life, hopefully a little less stuck than before.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
See you next time.